So, Isaac Asimov's The Naked Sun. It's way more than just a classic sci-fi story. I mean, at its heart, it's a detective novel, a real hard-boiled murder mystery. But it's set in this wild future that really makes you question what human connection even means. So, let's follow the clues together, because we're going to see how solving just one murder can completely unravel the fatal flaw of a supposedly perfect society.
Okay, so first up, you gotta meet our detective, Elijah Baley. Now this guy, he's from a future Earth. And picture this, 8 billion people, all crammed into these enormous underground cities. And Baley, he doesn't just live there, he loves it. I mean, the crowded halls, the fake light, that's his comfort zone. It's like a womb to him. He is absolutely terrified of open spaces, a phobia that's so common, it's literally keeping all of humanity trapped underground.
So think about it. What's the absolute worst assignment you could give a guy who's terrified of the sky? Yep, you guessed it. They're sending him off-world, to a planet called Solaria, one of these mysterious outer worlds that Earth has pretty much lost all touch with.
And this is where things get really interesting. You've got this huge power imbalance. On one side, you have Earth, packed to the gills, technologically stagnant, and people live short lives. And on the other, you have the outer worlds, the spacers. They're scattered across 50 planets, super advanced, and live for like 300 years or more. They basically run the galaxy, and they really look down on people from Earth. It's a total pressure cooker of a situation, and everyone in charge on Earth knows it.
So yeah, this isn't really about solving a murder, not at its core. That's just the cover story. Bailey's real mission, the one his government gave him, it's to find a crack in the spacer's shiny armor. Like his boss says, he has to find a weakness, any weakness, that could give Earth a shot at survival. The murder case, that's just his golden ticket to get inside. All right, so we're heading to Solaria, a world without people. After a totally terrifying trip through space, Baley finally makes it. And he's got a partner, Daneel Olivaw. On the surface, Daneel seems like just another spacer, but here's the secret. He's actually a robot, a perfectly human-looking one. And together, these two are about to step onto a planet that is, well, it's completely alien. It's huge, it's empty, and its rules are going to break everything Baley thought he knew about people.
Okay, just look at these numbers for a second. Earth has 8 billion people. Solaria, a whole planet, and its population is kept at exactly 20,000. That's it. This isn't a colony, it's more like a giant private country estate for every single person who lives there. But hold on, the planet isn't exactly empty. Not by a long shot. See this number? 200 million. That's the other population on Solaria. Which brings us to this insane ratio. For every single human on that planet, there are 10,000 robots. 10,000 to 1. It's the highest human-to-robot ratio anywhere in the galaxy. You've got a whole world run by machines, all for the benefit of a tiny handful of super rich, super isolated people.
So you have to be asking, how does a society like this even work? Well, it all hinges on one massive, unbreakable social rule. Solarians, they just don't meet in person. Ever. They view each other, which is basically like a super advanced 3D video call. That's normal. But to actually be in the same room as someone, to see them, oh man, to them, that is just disgusting. It's obscene, perverse, something they avoid at all costs.
And that's what makes the crime so impossible, right? We've got a victim, a top scientist named Gladia Delmarre. He's been found dead, his head literally bashed in. So the question is, in a world where nobody ever gets physically close to anyone else, how in the galaxy does a murder like this even happen? Well, the answer seems almost horrifyingly simple. It turns out there is one exception to that huge taboo against seeing someone, just one: marriage. And that leads to the biggest problem in this whole case. The only person who would have ever been in the same room as the victim was his own wife, Gladia Delmarre.
And when Baley talks to Gladia, she pretty much confirms it. Listen to how she talks about her own husband. He was assigned to me. We did see each other when scheduled. Assigned. Scheduled. For these people, even marriage is just this cold, clinical chore you have to get through. But the bottom line is, she's the only one with a clear opportunity.
But of course, it's never that simple, is it? The details here are just weird. First, the murder weapon is just gone. Poof. Second, there was a witness, a robot, but its brain was totally fried from the trauma of watching a human get harmed, which is a massive violation of the first law of robotics. Before it shut down for good, all it could do was repeat this one chilling phrase: "You're going to kill me." "You're going to kill me." So, was that the victim's last words? Or the robot's?
So now we start to see the cracks in this utopia. And Baley realizes pretty quick that he can't solve this case just by looking at the physical evidence. No way. He has to dig into the society itself. He's got to find the flaws in this so-called paradise to figure out a motive that even makes sense here.
His first stop is a local sociologist, a guy named Quemot, who has this really grand theory about Solaria. He says, look, think of the Solarians as ancient Spartans, a small, elite ruling class, but instead of human slaves, they've got robots doing all the work. And that frees them up to be like the ancient Athenians, pursuing art and culture and all that. He's convinced they've created the perfect human society, a real utopia.
And I mean, that's the dream of Solaria, right? A world where robots take care of everything, and humanity's only job is to be happy. A life with zero friction, perfect convenience. But Baley, he's a detective. He's got a gut feeling that this perfect society is hiding something really dark, and this murder is the key to unlocking it all. And it doesn't take long for his investigation to uncover something huge, a massive conspiracy, led by this genius roboticist, Jothan Leebig. See, Leebig thinks the other spacer worlds have gotten soft, and he's got a plan for galactic conquest. His secret weapon? Warships that aren't piloted by people, but by robot brains. He figured out a way to bypass the first law by designing ships where the robot brain wouldn't know it was killing people. And guess who stumbled onto his plan? Yep, our murder victim, Rikindal. And this is Baley's big breakthrough. Think about it. On a planet with 200 million robots and only 20,000 humans, what is the one thing they would be absolutely terrified of? It's the idea that a robot could be made to hurt a person, the fear of a robot uprising. And Baley realizes that that fear, that deep primal terror, is the exact button he needs to press to blow this whole case wide open.
All right, time for the naked truth. Baley, now armed with this powerful knowledge, he sets up a huge viewing, basically a big conference call with every single suspect, and he starts laying out the whole conspiracy. But here's the brilliant part. He doesn't accuse Leebig of murder. No, he accuses him of something much, much worse in their eyes. This is when Baley plays his trump card. He tells Leebig that his partner, Daneel, is on his way over to arrest him, in person, and the very threat of that, the idea of being seen, of having someone in his personal space, is so unbelievably terrifying to Leebig that he kills himself rather than face it. And just like that, he confesses. He was the murderer all along. He walked right up to his so-called friend, who probably thought it was just a hologram, and bludgeoned him to death. So there you have it. Baley solved the murder, but he also found exactly what he was sent to find. The weakness. When he gets back to Earth, he lays it all out. The Spacers' biggest strength. All their robots, their radical individualism, it's also their greatest weakness. They have completely forgotten how to cooperate, how to work together. They've lost, as Baley puts it, the tribe.
But, the biggest change here isn't about galactic strategy. It's about what happened to Elijah Baley himself. By forcing himself to go outside, to face the open sky on Solaria, he shattered his own deep-seated fears. He finally understands that Earth's cities, the places he thought were a safe womb, are actually a prison. Humanity can't stay there forever. It has to be born again, out among the stars.
And this final moment from the book just says it all. He's back in the city, but he doesn't feel safe and cozy anymore. Instead, he feels like he can see right through all the concrete and steel above him, out to the stars. He sees that naked sun, and it's not terrifying anymore. It's a beacon, a call to action for humanity to finally get up and go outside. This book was written almost 70 years ago, but it leaves us with this question that feels more real today than ever. I mean, as our own world gets more automated, as we spend more time communicating through screens, what's the real price we pay for all that perfect convenience? What do we lose when we stop seeing each other, truly, face to face?